צהלה תוך אמונה עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה Mizotola, Minamidbar.
Mizotola min hamidbar.
Mekuteret mor mor levona.
Mekuteret mor mor levona.
Libatini, achoti chala.
Libatini אחותי חלה.
לדודי לדודי דודי ואני לא הרואה. דודי ואני לא הרואה. דודי ואני לא הרואה. דודי ואני לא
You shall love Adonai with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your might. Take to heart these commandments I give you this day. Remember and tell all your children to live by my way. Speak of them when you're home, when you're on your way, when you lie down and get up and go about your day, as a sign on your hand and upon your head, on the side of your doorposts, my commandments may always be read. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shekemo Malechuto Leolam Vaed. Please remember, observe all these words that I've said, to live and be holy for years straight ahead. For I am your God, out of Egypt I led. Be holy, be righteous, remember the words that I've said. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shekemo Malechuto Leolam Vaed. You shall love Adonai with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your might. Take to heart these instructions I give you this day. Remember and tell all your children to live, oh, to live and remember my way.
like you're fading away. Just call right out, we'll find a way. From a narrow place to a wide open space. From a narrow place to a wide open. From a narrow place to a wide open Green hobbits are Karatia. Green hobbits are Karatia. The door of our door for generations and generations, and the door of our door, our door, our door. The door of our door for generations and generations, and the door of our door, our door, our door. Look around the world, look around your town. Every single age is represented all around. You see 'em everywhere, every street, avenue or boulevard. Anywhere, any beach, any park or any yard. The door of our door for generations and generations, and the door of our door, our door, our door. Ecclesiastes said one generation goes and another generation arrives. He got it wrong. For years we all live side by side. Can you lean on those who arrived here before? Can you learn from those you remember being born? Can you see that we are all together evermore? The door of our door for generations and generations, and
Shabbat
Welcome to
shalom.
our Friday night service. We've all had, I'm sure many of you, like me, have been at the dentist a couple times this week. Oh, maybe it's just
I was
me.
actually at the dentist this week.
Really,
so-
both of us. This was a dental rabbinic week. But welcome. Let's enjoy the beginning of Shabbat together. Let's go to page 10, and we'll sing how good it is for us to be all together. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. With just a little bit of singing, and now it's time to bring the light of Shabbat into the space. I'd like to invite Molly Matalon to come forward, a new member, just so you can see her. We can embarrass her a little bit, make her get up in front of the whole congregation, and we turn to page 2 to light the candle. It's childproof. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Thank you, Molly. As we move forward, we turn to that, my favorite moment, really, of the week. It's maybe second favorite. It's tied for first with Saturday morning. And this is that time where we've come from our week, whatever we've done this week. And I'm always amazed by the breadth of experience that's in this room, right? I mean, I'm looking at a doctor over here. I'm sure we did not have the same experience this week. Pretty sure. And you think about what you've done and where you've been, and it might not have been with any of the people in this room. So we've all come from these places where we're separate from each other, and now we're coming together here for this Shabbat to be together for the next hour, do some prayers, some singing, some reflection. And let's start with that reflection from our week so we can bring ourselves into a proper place for prayer. So I offer this poem as we enter into Shabbat. I've been here before, sitting on the edge between doing and being. My heart and soul still have a piece of themselves in the doing of the week, the Zooming of the week, the calls of the week, the writing of the week, the doing. And we're on the edge of Shabbat being, a refreshment of rest from all the doing that we've done, a glance towards gratitude that I can even do anything, let alone survive it. Let me be. Let me just be. Let me just be me. In the melodies, in the breath, in the words of prayer, in the sound of my voice and others joining me, even though we're just being. We begin the journey right now, from doing to being, from what was to what will be. So let us be on the edge. Let us be in Shabbat. Let's take a moment now for a Chazarat HaShavua, a review of your week. Let's go to page 20 as we welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor vezachor kedibor echad ishmianu Adonai echad u'shmo echad Eshem u'tiferet
Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalala yalala yalala
Nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Itoreri, itoreri, tiva orech uri, umi uri, shir daveri, kvod Adonai alayich nigla.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Nei Shabbat
nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Nei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. We face the door. Welcome the Sabbath bride. Bohi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvetzola toch emunei am segula boi chala Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalala 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 Nei Shabbat Let's go to 28. We turn towards the ark. We welcome our prayers. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated.
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We think about the changing from daytime to nighttime and back again every single day. We'll turn now to page 34 for Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malkuto Leolam Va'ed.
Every single service, morning and evening, we sing Michamocha, this song of freedom. We're told right in the words of it that we should be thinking about freedom, about crossing toward the Red Sea. We're told also to think of God's awesomeness. Well, we're at the point in our Torah right now, if we're thinking about the whole expansiveness of the entire story of the creation of the world to up where we are right now, which is almost right at the end, right when the Israelites are about to enter freedom. It's really incredible that yet again, we're almost at the end and yet we're not quite going to make it. You know, the Torah never quite makes it right into the promised land. So what does that mean for us? That every single year we are marching towards something knowing that we're actually not going to make it. And yet every morning and every night we sing about freedom, we sing about redemption, and every year we read again and again the Torah from beginning to end and start over right before we get to the promised land. I think it teaches us that freedom is a never-ending endeavor. We might reach one stage of freedom, and yet freedom and redemption, there's always more to achieve. There's always more to march toward. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to sing Micha Mocha, marching toward freedom yet again, and we'll do it tomorrow morning. Every service we do it. But for now, let's focus on this moment we get to be together, singing, thinking about freedom, and all the awesomeness we can look forward to in singing Micha Mocha, page 40.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 la
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la
Micha Mocha B'nim Adonai Micha Mocha Nedar B'Kodesh Norati Lo Sefer Oh Sefer Malchutcha Ra'u Vanecha Volkei Yam Lifnei Moshe uMiriam Malchutcha Ra'u Vanecha Volkei Yam Lifnei Moshe uMiriam Anu ve'amru Adonai lo leolam leolam va'ed Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la la
Page 42 for Hashki Venu.
Ufros aleinu Very quietly. Ufros
We're now going to come to the time in our service when we're going to think about those in our lives in our Temple Emmanuel community who are in need of healing of the mind, of the soul, of the spirit, and of the body. We're going to sing Misha Berach together. We're going to have an opportunity in the middle to share names, who you are thinking of, share names from our community. And while we're singing, we'll be thinking of a full and complete healing for everyone.
a blessing,
and let us say, we're thinking of Ida Akiba, Sylvia Alberts, Chuck Ehrenberg, Grace Blaustein, Marlene Breyer, Vicki Braslau, Jill Kahn, Eitan Chaim, David Childs, and Annie Childs, Woody Clark, Jay Clement, Iris Cutler, Judy Fenton, Patty Goodman, Andy Hale, Sis Klein, Cookie Lifshin, Kathleen Agnes McCarthy, Sheila Merowitz, Missy Pekin, David Pick, Howard Rosen, Dorothy Salkin, Sandy Silas, Lindy Sobel, Mabube Suleimani, Bill Terry, Phyllis Torse, Irving Valesinor, Harav Aharona Batsivia Vayosef, Halina Wachtel, Paula Warner, Sonia Ann Weggy, Michael Wolin, Andy Wu, Yehudit Bat Nachama V'Mordechai, and Howard Zellico. If you're in the sanctuary with us and you want to say the name of anyone you're thinking of right now, you can stand and share their name with us. I'll invite you to rise now if you're able, and we'll turn to page 46. We're going to get ready to do the Amidah together. We're going to sing the words on page 46, and then I'll invite you to continue your prayer either by looking at the prayer book or going according to the words of your own heart. We're going to do a silent Amidah together.
Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yadi Techilatecha, Ufi Yadi Techilatecha. of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable unto you, Adonai, my rock and my Redeemer.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Growing up, I was a competitive student, and much of this had to do with the friends that I chose. I recently shared a meal with one of my closest friends from childhood. We met each other when we were 11 years old. And this friend was visiting from out of town, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And we were reminiscing on how we used to compete against each other while we were in middle school. This was before grades even counted. And we would spend hours together studying and preparing for our school projects. And the truth is that this hard work that both of us put into the situation was all about competition, really. I knew that my friend was aiming to be her best possible self. She wanted to get the best possible grades, and I didn't want to embarrass myself by not putting my all into studying and not doing as well as her. We read in Proverbs 27:17, "As iron sharpens iron, so a person is sharpened by the wit of their friends." Throughout my schooling, this verse was true. I chose friends who challenged me and sharpened me, not only to be a good student then, but really because of my friends and the people in my life, I've become a lifelong learner. I bring this up because in our Torah portion this week, Devarim, we touch upon, the verses touch upon the power not only of competition, but actually of the jealousy that sometimes ensues from feelings of competition. We're in the first portion of the book of Deuteronomy, and the portion contains some of Moses' final words to the Israelites before, like I mentioned before they enter the promised land, but they don't actually ever get there, and before Moses dies. Moses recounts the Israelites receiving Torah on Mount Sinai. He talks about his decision to assign chieftains and judges to rule over the people. He talks about the 12 spies who were sent into the land of Canaan to scope out what was out there. And finally, he talks about Joshua, his successor, who is charged to lead the people after Moses' death. In Deuteronomy 1:38, Moses tells the people, "Joshua, son of Nun, who attends you, he shall enter it. Imbue him with strength, for he shall share it with all of Israel." Moses, we've learned up until this point, is a human just like anyone else, and therefore he is deeply flawed. The ancient rabbis surmised that Moses falls prey to the deeply human tendency of comparing himself to Joshua during this moment of transition. He's about to step down, and Joshua is going to take over, and it's only natural for him to wonder, how do I compare to Joshua? Is Joshua going to be better at this than I was? There's a rabbinic tale, a midrash, Deuteronomy Rabbah 9:9, and it goes like this. Moses said to God, "Let Joshua take my authority while I am alive." And God said to him, "He will do with you as you did with him." Immediately Moses got up and he went over to Joshua's house. Joshua was afraid, but Moses said, Come with me, it'll be okay." They went out and they walked together. And they went to the tent of meeting, and there was the cloud of glory with God's presence. And this cloud came down between Moses and Joshua. so that there was a separation between them. When the cloud lifted, Moses went to Joshua and asked, "So, what did God talk about with you?" And Joshua said, "When the word was revealed to you, did I know what God said to you?" On that day, Moses cried and cried, and he said, "I would rather have 100 deaths than one of these feelings of jealousy." And Solomon, in Song of Songs, later interpreted this as, "Love is as strong as death, and jealousy is as hard as the grave." This is the love that Moses had toward Joshua, and this is also the jealousy that Moses had toward Joshua. We tend to think of competition and jealousy as negative, right? In fact, in Christian thought, envy is one of the 7 deadly sins. No one likes to feel jealous or competitive. But sometimes I think comparing our strengths and weaknesses to those of others can help us actually lean into what makes us unique and push us to grow in areas that might not come as naturally to us. Again, as iron sharpens iron, so a person is sharpened by the wit of their friend. When I began my rabbinate, I fell into my old competitive habits, and I felt tinges of jealousy while watching colleagues excel in their work. You see, I was ordained at the start of the pandemic, which meant that much of what I knew about being a rabbi no longer applied. It was a totally different rabbinic world, completely virtual, and everyone was trying to figure out what to do. I saw other rabbis creating excellent virtual programming. Hello, we at Temple Emmanuel did Do It at Home, but I wasn't here yet. And I saw rabbis innovating in other ways that hadn't even crossed my mind. So as a new rabbi, I wondered, how was I supposed to compete with all of this ingenuity? I decided to join a professional group of Jewish educators. For 2 years, we met bi-weekly to discuss the issues that we faced in our religious schools, and we brainstormed possible solutions. The group was diverse. Some members had 30-plus years of experience. Some people were newer to their careers in Jewish education. Some were rabbis like myself, and others were not. Some were big picture thinkers, and some were much more stuck in the administrative work that comes with running a religious school. In hearing all of their experiences, I have to admit that sometimes it was hard not to listen with a competitive ear, right? Wondering why I was having such, a problem that was going on in my school, and I assumed that others had everything figured out. But I tried to remind myself that feelings of competition and jealousy can actually be good, spurring me to do my best. In brainstorming with colleagues and accepting that they had strengths that I just didn't, I piloted new family education programs, I reimagined the religious school schedule, and I increased moments of social connection during our Sundays together. Psychologist Maria Konnikova wrote a few years ago in The New Yorker, "No one would deny that feeling envy is unpleasant, or that feeling envious sometimes leads us down a path that we wish we weren't on. Envy is frequently corrosive and it's destructive, and yet, the right kind of envy can serve as an important personal and social function. It spurs competition and improvement." Moses eventually comes to embrace Joshua, and he encourages the Israelites to do the same. He knows that Joshua's strengths, while different, are going to rise to the occasion, and they are what the moment needs. His strengths will strengthen Israel and carry forward the generation next and lead to the generations to come after. In the Talmud, we learn that when passing leadership to Joshua, Moses was actually only commanded to place one hand onto Joshua's head. But in the moment, he got caught up and placed 2 hands on Joshua's head with all of his strength. So this shows that in the end, Moses comes around and he appreciates Joshua and supports him with all of his conviction. The Torah tells us never again did there arise a prophet like Moses. And yet for all of Moses' unique qualities, he was not Joshua. Joshua in many ways had more experience, and he was better prepared to lead than Moses because he had watched Moses. He had perfected and hopefully grown in the shadow of Moses so that he was ready to take on this calling. And of course, Joshua had his own relationship with God. After Moses' death, it was all about Joshua. Although comparing ourselves to others, while deeply human, doesn't feel good, and no one would like to admit to ever feeling jealous, our Torah portion this week reminds us that comparison and the jealousy that it often brings do not have to be bad. If we're using jealousy or our competitive streak for good and for motivation, it has the potential to make us better and to help make the world better by the unique strengths we are cultivating and putting out into the world around us. May we all see ourselves as unique creatures of God, and may we feel inspired by those around us so that then we can unabashedly share our best selves with others and move forward together. Shabbat Shalom.
Let's go to our concluding prayers. Page 282 is Aleinu. If you please rise in body or spirit. לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. You may be seated. We turn now to page 294. And as we do, our thoughts turn to those that have been a part of our lives and are no longer with us. Those that have died at the seasons past and those that have died more recently. And we especially think tonight of those members of our congregation, Alfred Rothman and Dora Stolman, Clara Cohan, Dr. Tavia Judah Turkat, David Collins, and Jesse Ward. I'd like to know if anyone is observing Shloshim or Yartzeit or the first year after the death of a loved one. If you'd please rise, and as I acknowledge you, tell us who you're here to say Kaddish for.
My father, Harry Kahn. My father, Alfred Rothman.
Let us rise together and join those mourners who are among us. We take those names, bring them into our hearts. We say Kaddish Atom for them, and we say it for those that have no one to say it for them. Say it for those lost in the Holocaust. Say it for those that have died of COVID-19 in the last several years. And we say it for all of those that have died in the violence of recent times. Let's join together. Kaddish Yatom. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yom mechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקדושה ברכו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring harmony amongst all of us, all of Israel, really the whole world. And we say amen. You may be seated. We've got a couple of announcements, I believe. Sarah will bring them up. There we go. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, we have services here. Please join us. It's the two of us once again. Same place, but different time. So join us tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, online or in this space. And if you know little ones, these are really pre-readers. We have this wonderful Bim Bam Family Jam. There's Miles, who actually grew up in this congregation and is now all grown up and plays an amazing guitar, studying at Berkeley, and he has some great time with the kids. So if you know anyone, please come and join us for that. And Friday, August 4th is going to be our Chai Village LA Shabbat. Last year, since Temple Emmanuel and Temple Isaiah share Chai Village LA, last year we did it at Temple Isaiah. This year, Temple Emmanuel is hosting. Please let's show our support for Chai Village LA and join us there. As you can see, we've got 2 cantors, 2 rabbis. There'll be a lot of other people too. It's going to be a raucous Shabbat, right?
Yeah, we're in the middle of planning it. It's gonna be great.
You're in the middle of planning it? It will be planned by the time the service gets here. Don't worry about that. All right, let's move on. Time to renew your membership. If you're not a member, time to become a member. So you can look in your emails. You may have them there. And just because the cantor's on vacation, I will mention, hashtag read your highlights, okay? You just do that. That's for her. And lastly, Stevie Wonder Shabbat, signed, sealed Shabbat, our last Friday of August. We consider that the last Friday of the summer. If you've never been to this, what did we do last year? Billy Joel we did last year. We did Elton John the year before that. We did Carole King last year. Wasn't it? 2 years ago was Carole King. I can't keep track, but the cantor writes incredible parodies that go along with the prayers, and it's a great evening, so please join us for that. It's at a private residence. When you RSVP, you get the address, but that's how that works. But it'll be great. Although I do need to say Stevie Wonder will not be there. Okay, he's in the picture, but he's not going to be there. Lastly, register for religious school. Anything great we need to know?
Registration is coming out hopefully during this upcoming week. If you have any questions about the religious school, you can come talk to me. We have a little one over there, some little ones, and I'm just really excited to be with our kids. So if you have any questions, come talk to me.
Great. Is that all? I would like to ask if there's anyone here for the first time, never been here before. We'd love it to hear, your name and especially where you're from, because sometimes we get some exotic places here in Beverly Hills. Anyone want to share and all that? Everyone's been here before? You've been here before? You don't look familiar. You sure? Okay. Let's go to our final song. If you'd like to stand, you may. It's the last word. I don't know where it is in the back of this, but it'll come up on the screen, although my foot pedaling has not been great during the service, so bear with me and thank you. It's on 294 on the bottom of the page. It's the last line of the Kaddish prayer. It is for us to have peace in our lives. Say shalom. Shalom Aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'immeru Amen Ve'immeru Amen. May you feel blessed and safe. May you feel luminous and loved. And may you feel joy and wholeness. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.